I mentioned three things when you were generous enough to come to the office, and we have a nice visit. And I want to just two of the things have been really responded to, and so I won't bring them up. One was, of course, the fact that the Afghan Security Force district that they controlled has gone down to 57% from the 72%, which you did respond to in the chairman's questions. The second thing, which you pretty much answered, is the talking about the troop levels. Except, as it is right now, we have about 8,500 of our guys over there.
Yes, sir.
And about 12,500 total.
Yes, sir.
And when you said a minute ago that the shortfall is a few thousand, is that we need to correct in order to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish right now? When you say a few thousand, would that be referring to ours or to the total allies and the total figure?
Sir, this is in the area of the Train, Advise, Assist mission, which is a NATO mission. So these contributions could come from our allies as well as the United States. We have identified the requirement and the desire to advise below the core level. So these additional forces would enable us to thicken our advisory effort across the Afghan ministries and do more advising below the core level. So this is an area that I am currently in discussion with my chain of command, with General Votel, General Scaparrotti, Chairman Dunford, Secretary Mattis. And I know that in the coming weeks, when Secretary Mattis has a chance to attend the defense ministerials next week and consult with allies and visit the theater, then we're going to be able to discuss this in greater detail.
Okay, that clarification is good, and I think it's necessary because the media will be covering this. We want to make sure they know what we're talking about here.
Thank you, sir.
Now, the main thing I wanted to cover, and it's one that is, we have these meetings. We have private meetings with you and all the great people that we're depending on, and I'm very proud of all of you and what is going. We have that opportunity. You also have the opportunity to consult with us because we have a little closer contact with the people out there who are paying for all this stuff.
Yes, sir.
And one of the problems that we have is, even in my state of Oklahoma, I'll go back and they'll talk about, all right, we've been there 15 years now, we've been doing this.
Yes, sir.
Why is it worth all of that? The strongest thing that I can say is something I honestly believe in my heart, and that is, if we don't do it over there, it's going to be done in the homeland. You addressed this in your written statement. When you said your predecessor, General Campbell, said if we don't stay engaged here to build the Afghans' capacity to fight this threat, keep the sanctuary down, it's coming back to our homeland. Then you re-emphasized that in your opening statement. Now, what I'd like to do is, I think it's worth getting into the record here as to how this might affect something on our homeland. We understand this. We've gotten a lot of things in confidential briefings, but I think it's very important for the country to know that. Any comments you can make on any specifics? I know that when you had the death of that they had actually had plans for an attack on the mainland. Can you comment on that?
Yes, Senator, thank you, and thank you for the opportunity to articulate this. We believe, as we said, that our operations in Afghanistan directly protect the homeland. The individual you're referring to is named Farouk al-Qatari.
Yes,
yes, sir. We killed him on October the 23rd in eastern Afghanistan in a remote area of Kunar province. Farouk al-Qatari was the external operations director for al-Qaeda. He was involved in plotting against the U.S. homeland. So this is one example, without getting into classified details, of a specific terrorist operating in Afghanistan who was involved in plotting against the U.S. homeland. More importantly, his organization, al-Qaeda, and its affiliates have been severely attrited and degraded, as you know, and our objective is to destroy them in Afghanistan. We will continue to keep pressure, but in order to do that, we need to maintain the counterterrorism platform that we have in Afghanistan in an enduring manner. So this is how it directly relates to our national security at home. I would also add, Senator, if I may, that from a height of our engagement in Afghanistan, over the past 15 years. We were over 100,000 troops. We are now down to about 10% of that. So as we look at this commitment over time, that surge that we did into Afghanistan will enable us to build the Afghan security forces, and as the chairman mentioned, now it is they who are doing most of the fighting. From the height of our assistance to the Afghan security forces was 10 to 12 billion in those years that we were building. We're now down to about 3.5 billion for the Afghan security forces fund with additional funds to support our troops. So there has been a reduction in the overall cost of this mission.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. My time has expired, but it's the homeland connection that we need to be armed with. You've done a very good job. Thank you.